Well, if I had 30 days to build muscle, here's what I do. Even if you've been slogging away in the gym and you've not seen no changes, even if you've been through fucking 2 or 3 diets already this year and they've not worked, even if you've been stuck on a 20 kilo dumbbell for the past 3 months, and you just can't seem to lift anything heavier, but you just don't seem to build any muscle. I'm going to show you how to build a slither of muscle in 30 days time. And the best part is that none of this requires a new perfect program. It doesn't require any fucking magic supplements that you need to take. And there's some free stuff that you're going to get that's going to make this all really easy as well. Because I'm currently 27 weeks into a photo shoot prep, mate. I'm on 1,800 calories. I'm doing 2 refeed days of 2,600 calories and do 11K steps a day. I'm in the gym 4 times a week. I am literally in the position that you need to get in to be able to build muscle. So this isn't coming from a textbook. It's not coming from something I've heard on Instagram. It's coming from what I've actually done and how I went from this physique here to start my actual successful bulk after doing 3 failed ones to the physique I had at the peak of my bulk where I've actually built decent bit of size, mate. And so can you. So if I had 30 days to build muscle, the first thing I would do is focus on getting lean, mate. I can already hear what you're saying, mate. Oh, Troy, but you can't build muscle in a deficit. So what's the point in cutting? Well, that's where you're wrong, mate. Because the only people who seem to struggle with building muscle in a deficit are the ones that don't ever get into a deficit and don't actually sort their training out. So if you're a newbie into the gym and you've never actually looked into your training, you've never actually followed up a consistent nutritional protocol, mate, you absolutely will build muscle in a deficit, which brings me back to why you need to get lean first. Because if you're not lean, that means that you got body fat. And if you've got body fat, it means you're not going to see muscle growth. And if you're not going to see muscle growth, you're not going to bulk for long enough. I would get the exact calories, macros, and step targets that you need to be able to get lean to start a bulk, literally like I've put it on the screen now. So this is my free shredded without skinny calculator, mate, that you will have access to using the link in my description. All you'll do is you'll put in your height, your age, your name, just so you know it's yours, your gender, and your average step count, right? And then that's going to give you targets. It's going to give you 6 lower days. It's going to give you 1 refeed day, right? And these are the exact targets that are going to enable you to lose 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week so that you start to get lean and you get lean enough to build muscle. So then all you would need to do in practice is once you've put them few details and you start going hit the numbers, and then every day I want you to weigh yourself. Every day you're going to fill in your weight because that's going to populate your average weight and it's going to populate the total difference so you know how much weight you're losing, so you know you're in a deficit. Because if you're tracking 2,000 calories but your weight's going up, you're not a deficit, mate. Your weight needs to come down. You're then just going to input your macro targets that you are already inputting and hitting from the sheet, and that aligns with it. So if you're on 1,950 calories, mate, this tab here better say 1,950 calories. And now you're starting to get accountable to it. Now you're starting to get used to the process of, oh, I'm actually hitting my calories every day. I'm actually tracking it every day. And guess what? The weight is actually coming off every day. This is the kind of document, mate, that I would have killed for back in the day when I was struggling to get lean, when I was just going into bulks when I shouldn't be going to bulks because I wasn't lean enough and wondering why I was getting too fat and building no muscle. So step number 1, not only just get lean, but download this calculator because it's going to help you and make it so much fucking easier. So the official second thing that I would do if I had 30 days to build muscle would be to just start writing down your weights. I don't care what program you're currently running. I don't care how many exercises you're doing. I don't care what reps you're doing. I don't care what split it is. All I want you to do, right, is I want you to pull up a logbook, and I'm going to pull up my guaranteed gains logbooking system that I use with all my clients. And I just want you to start filling in the sets, load, and reps that you are doing in the gym, right? Because once you've filled all that in, right, you can see it on the screen. You've got 1 week's worth of data of training. The next time you go into the gym, right, rather than going, oh, what did I fucking lift? Was it 20 kilos or 25 kilos? Did I do 5 reps? Did I do 8 reps? And then you start thinking to yourself, well, I definitely did this. And you pick up a weight and go, yeah, but that feels a bit too light. I'm going to go up one more. And then you go up one more. And you go, fuck, that feels a bit too heavy. I'm not too sure. And you'd spend half the time in the gym doing mental arithmetic, wondering what the fuck you lifted, which ironically gets you nowhere because in order to progressively overload and build some muscle, you're going to have to make your muscles do more. And if you don't know what your muscles did last week or what they're capable of, how can you make them do more? It's impossible. So when you go into the gym to your next session, and you've got that week 1 there, you can go into week 2 and you start looking back at that lift and go, okay, for example, I'm on a 6 to 10 rep range. Last week, I did 20 kilos for 10 reps. So this week on this set, I'm at the top end of the rep range. I did 20 kilos. I am now going to go 22.5 kilos and I'm going to aim for the 6 to 10 rep range again. progressive overload. And now you know, and the benefit is you just scroll down to the bottom, mate, and you've got a volume graph that's working all this out for you. So you know that you're getting stronger because it not only does it entice you to go and lift more weight and push you to train harder, but it actually is quite reassuring when you go into the volume graph and you go, oh, well, my strength is going up, so I know I'm going to be building muscle, because you can't build muscle without getting stronger. The same way that you'd go to a weight chart and you look at your weight coming down for reassurance, you should be going to your volume charts and see your volume and lifts going up for reassurance that that side of it's working. I had Logbook for about 10 years, mate, and I actually got nowhere. Like literally, I was stuck lifting 25 kilo dumbbell press 10 years after joining the gym, mate. It's only since the process of logbooking I can actually dumbbell press the 40s now, because every session that I went in, I stopped guessing. I stopped just picking up the weight that I thought was comfortable. And I was like, shit, no, this week I've actually got to pick up the 30. That's how you get stronger. That's how you build muscle. And you only do that by filling this in. Step 4, mate, which is the most uncomfortable one for you to hear because it hurts. But training to failure is something that you cannot miss if you only had 30 days to build muscle. By recording your sets and looking at your training intensity and making sure your training intensity is there, you're going to know that you're training close enough to failure. And I get that just to say that to you, it doesn't really mean anything, because you probably convince yourself that you train hard enough. Because why would you go to the gym and admit, like, I don't train hard enough? Because you just wouldn't go. Because if you don't train hard enough, then it wouldn't work. And then what's the point in going? So you're probably quite good to convince yourself that you train hard enough and that you do push hard. But when you go and record the set and you watch it back, I would imagine that you'd watch it back and go, holy shit, I am not training hard enough at all. No wonder I am tiny. Because when you record your sets, now you can look back at the one example that I use in my clients that I'm going to pull up here, the first and last rep example, right? So like your first rep should not look the same as your last rep. If your first rep looks like this, me on the T-bar row, right? And then your last rep looks like the same fucking rep, and there's no slowing down, there's no loss of fucking momentum, there's no grinding, you're not really pushing your muscles to past where they need to go. So what you want to see is you want to see your reps progressively slowing down as the set goes on. Because with each rep that slows down, that grinds, it's because your muscle is at its max capacity, right? Like your muscle cannot do anymore. That's why it's slowing down, because it's like, well, I can't do this, so this is quite hard. It's past what I can usually do. But that's when your brain has to come in and you go, right, I know my muscles want to quit, but I'm not going to let them quit, and I'm going to push them 1, 2, maybe 3 reps past where they think they're comfortable, so that you have a reason to grow, mate. If you don't give your muscles a reason to grow, they're not going to grow. But the only way you become aware of how hard you're training is by recording it and by watching it back. Every single set that you do should be taken to this place where it's grinding. Like if you're not grinding and the reps aren't slowing, you're not growing, mate. That's exactly what I would do if I had 30 days to build muscle, right? When I've done my photo shoot and I am going to transition back into a bulk, I would have already done step 1, which is get lean. I'm already doing step 2, which is logging my weights. I'm already doing step 3, which is recording my sets. And I'm already doing step 4, which is training to failure. But if you've watched this video and you go, right, I want to know a bit deeper why I need to do these things, what the reasons are that these are the reasons that I build muscle, and why am I not actually having this thought process in my head of doing the things that you're saying and applying it to the gym, you can go and watch the video that I did that's called You're Thinking About Muscle Growth Wrong, which will just change your mindset towards, oh yeah, these are the things I actually have to do and believe to build the muscle. And if I'm not doing and believing these things, then I'm just not going to do it. There's one thing you take from this, which isn't hit subscribe, because that's usually what people say. It's just getting that shredded without skinny calculator, mate, because that is the first step in building more muscle. And it's right there for you to just click in the link in my description, put a few details in, and you're away with your cut. Getting lean to build more muscle is right.